Gabe Stewart of Locked On Baylor. And Tommy Castellanos, the Florida State quarterback, per Sports Illustrated, more specifically the Texas Tech wing of Sports Illustrated, is, quote, expected to be a Red Raider. What does that mean for Will Hammond? This is Texas Tech Red Raiders on SI. The 2026 season begins on September 5th. But they've got an opportunity to go add Castellanos out of the transfer portal, and College Football Alerts says that Castellanos is expected to transfer to Tech. May begin the season as quarterback too, but I don't think that Castellanos is going to transfer to be a backup. What might happen is Tech, for the second time, says, sorry, Will Hammond, we're going to go with another option. And there's a non-zero chance that a damn good quarterback ends up in Lubbock this year to be the new starting guy for the Red Raiders.
I've got two reactions to this, Drake, if I may.
Okay.
The first one goes to my New England roots. It really made me think of early 2020. Tom Brady announces he's leaving the Patriots.
Drew Bledsoe.
And for a couple months, the Patriots and the media and the fans were like, Jarrett Stidham, that's our guy. No, trust me. He was pushing Brady, man. Trust me. This guy has got all the stuff. Jarrett Stidham is going to be our dude. And then in like late June, they were like, what if we could just get Cam Newton for 1 year? Just give him $1 million. What do you think? This is almost the exact scenario, right? Will Hammond. Well, don't worry. We don't need Brendan Sorsby. We got Will Hammond, man. Remember what he did against Utah? That's our guy. And we're still going to win the Big 12. And then in August, what if we just gave Tommy Castellanos a couple $1 million? What if we just gave him a couple $1 million? Then trust us now. This is our guy right here. I did, and the initial reaction was, is he a better option than Will Hammond? Will Hammond was a guy who was hyped up quite a bit this summer. I think he's somewhere in between the legend some Tech fans think he is and being an absolute bum. You get a small sample size of him last year where he did look pretty good, to be fair. But I looked at Castellanos' numbers last year, that Florida State offense. It wasn't a very good team. They were 5-7, but they had top 25 offense in America. And Castellanos wasn't as electric as he was for half a season at BC before he quit on them and left the team entirely. People forget about that. But he was a pretty good quarterback. In fact, if you think in the Big 12 sense, put it in Big 12 terms, if you think Devin Dampier is a good quarterback in this conference, then so was Tommy Castellanos. And he's got a lot more talent around him at Tech than he ever did at Florida State or at Boston College, or back to his original days at UCF. So it does set up well. I think he is a playmaker. If you're Will Hammond and this happens, I mean, you got to hit the portal right away, right? Got to be like, I'm not going to school here this year. I'm unenrolling from Tech. If Tommy can come in and be the quarterback right away, I can surely go somewhere else and be a quarterback right away. I am unenrolling. That's legal. I can unenroll from school, I think, at this point, although they probably started class, and go somewhere else. Like, what do you do if you're Will Hammond? They now told you twice you're not our guy.
Yeah, it also is Joey, if you're listening, Joey, hey.
Joseph,
don't do this. You told us so clearly, man, we would have gone with Hammond no matter what, if not for the injury thing. We wanted it to be Hammond. It was always going to be Hammond, and then he got hurt. That's why we had to go with Sorsby. Joey, you can't walk that back now. You can't. You already sounded a little silly when you said that after Sorsby left. Right? When Sorsby was there, it was never like, oh, man, we needed Will Hammond. We wanted it to be Will. We got stuck with Sorsby. No. Then Sorsby leaves. Like, well, it was always going to be Will Hammond. Well, we just didn't think he'd be ready. And then all of a sudden, he's ready. He's really ready. He was always going to, we went back and forth a little bit too much there. And I understand that Joey's got to say those things to keep his locker room together. And he's got to say this. He's doing the right thing here. He is doing the right thing by saying that to the media, by saying we believe in Will. I'm not upset with that. You tarnish all of that. If you're Joey McGuire and you sign Tommy Castellanos to play for you this year, you tarnish your word. You gave your word to these people. You gave your word to Will that he was your guy. I don't even like the Texas Techs in the murmurs for Castellanos.
I was surprised. I was pretty surprised to see it.
I'd drop it all. If you and look, at some point, and I'm sorry, but and I'm against this. I'm the guy that I like when Big 12 teams sign NFL players or NBA players because the SEC is going to do it anyway. In this case, 11 days before the college football season, if you go sign another quarterback, what does that say about you? At this point, if Tommy Castellanos is a difference in one win, it's probably better to save some face and just everybody already hates Texas Tech for better, for right or wrong. And I'm not that guy. I think Texas Tech with the Brendan Sorsby deal is doing the same thing LSU would have done, the same thing Alabama would have done. So I don't care. A lot of people really don't like Texas Tech right now. And I'm not going to be able to ride the Tech train if you told me you believe in Will Hammond and then pull the rug out on Will Hammond the week before the season. I don't think Tech should even be in this lottery. I think their name being associated with Castellanos is a bad look.
You know whose fault this is? It's Baron Morton's fault.
Okay. Yeah.
It is entirely Baron Morton's fault. Like, they had the roster last year and they won the Big 12 and they went to the CFP. And then Baron Morton just diarrheaed down his entire both legs. Like, just had the game that they described Shane Falco as having in the replacements, that Sugar Bowl at Ohio State. That's what Baron Morton had against Oregon last year. And so now Texas Tech and Joey McGuire, they're now pulling out all the stops. They threw $5 million at Brendan Sorsby, and that was probably the right move in today's college football. And then they're like, oh, it's Will Hammond. But now, at the last minute, here's Castellanos. He's right there, and he was kind of good. Top 25 offense, and boy, could he bring this kind of out of the pocket game that neither of those guys could give us. Is this the guy? Is this the ticket? No, man. You still got to be a team. You still got to have a leader. Still got to have someone to rally around. Will Hammond has at least been with you. He's been in the trenches with you the last couple of years. He's been with you this whole season, this whole offseason, I should say, rehabbing, getting healthy, ready to be the starter. You go to the media, Joey McGuire, and tell us all how great Will Hammond's going to be and how much you're rallying around him. And then you're going to bring in this old guy, Castellanos, a week and a half before the season. Like, that's crazy, man. That's crazy talk. That would be crazy even in a movie. And that's what they're on the precipice of doing.
Yep.
If Baron Morton puts up 2 touchdowns in that game, are we even talking about this?
It's not good. It's not good. Don't do it, Joey. Please don't do it. When we come back, scandal at Baylor University. What's new? Locked on Big 12, Locked on Baylor. Today's show is brought to you by Odoo. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales. Somehow none of them work for each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place. Odoo is one platform to manage, grow, and scale your business. The best organizations know success is not about talent. It's about having everyone working toward the same goal, and that's true in sports just like business. I think about the Locked On Big 12 squad, right? When we all get together every week, it stands out as a great organization of people that are pulling in the same direction. Not just one great host, but all of us working together. Great organizations win because operations matter. That's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/locked on. That's odoo.com/locked on. Again, odoo.com/locked on. Odoo.com/locked on today to get everybody pulling in that same direction with our friends at Odoo.